right, the first week of March Madness is behind us. Obviously, if you watch my first bracket video, I'm doing at a point right now that's not great, but I wouldn't say it's the worst. All my Final Four teams are still alive that I gave, and 7 of my 8 Elite 8. But obviously, at this time of the year, ESPN does this thing where they give you a chance to make a second chance bracket. And it's something I just wanted to go through. I just wanted to give you guys my picks. Some of my stuff has actually changed a little bit since just like seeing certain games that I will mention when I get to it. But this is still a good opportunity to win some money. I was saying that I think if you're able to get this perfect, there's like 50K in prizes. So still a money-making opportunity here. But I didn't want to get into it. And it's been a very interesting year where not one of the 1 seeds has fallen, not one of the 2 seeds has fallen into the Sweet 16. That's actually pretty rare. There's usually always like an 8 or a 9 that takes down the 1 and the 2. Well, at least one of the 2 is usually gone by now. But going to this first game, the UConn-San Diego State game, I'm going to go with UConn. They've looked the best through this tournament that I've seen so far. Just have had really good performances all the way around. And that's why I'm going to stick with them for right now. I still have Illinois over Iowa State. They had a bit of a scare in their first game where it was like really close at half, but then obviously they were able to break away. Duquesne was no problem for them, so I like UConn, Illinois in that next round. Going down to here, I think it's clear North Carolina in just from my perspective here. They haven't looked the best by any stretch, but Alabama is just one of those teams where there's consistency issues. The SEC has been pretty weak in this whole thing. I really didn't have Alabama as that highly valued of a team the entire year, but I mean they found a way to get to the Sweet 16. I have Arizona over Clemson, and Clemson, I'm just shocked they got here. You know, I think a lot of people had New Mexico in that game, and Clemson just finds a way to get to the Sweet 16, and they've been really impressive. I think Arizona is going to be a little too much for them, so that's why we're going to go with Arizona in that game. Then if we're going back to here, we have Houston-Duke. Now, Houston really starting to scare me now. Pick them as my champion for my main bracket that you guys saw on this channel. But, although that game was rough, I still think they beat Duke. Duke's been a really inconsistent team this year. Now, could I see Duke winning this game? Of course, I could see Duke winning this game. But I just don't see it through. I think Houston's going to come in. At least they have the advantage of where they have a week break to get over that game. Mind you, Texas A&M played a really strong first round game, so we'll go with Houston here. We'll go with Houston. And then one of the bigger upsets, I like NC State here. Marquette, although played well, it was close at times in their first round game. I think NC State is just, I think, that team of the tournament that makes the surprising run. Because other than that, it's just been so predictable towards the end at this point with all these high seeds still around. I think you're bound for some like this. I have NC State in my Elite 8. Then we go down to here, and Gonzaga, like I said, inconsistent team. I could see them beating Purdue, but Purdue has been really, really darn good. Purdue has been really darn good in the games they've played. They scored 108. Edey's been balling out. I just have them right now. I have Tennessee over Creighton. And I know I said earlier that the SEC's been weak, but Tennessee was always an outlier for me, even when I filled out my initial bracket. I like what Tennessee does. Then if we get into the Elite 8 matchups here, like I said, I'm really strong on UConn now after the games I've seen. Their past 8 NCAA tournament games, dating back to last year, have been double-digit wins. That is in the territory of unheard of. So that's why I'm going to have to give UConn the nod over Illinois there. I would be pretty shocked if UConn doesn't make it to the Final Four. Then we have this. Give me Arizona. I think they're due for it. Arizona, just really sneaky team, always consistently good. North Carolina, just we'll see with them, but I have Arizona in this game. Going up to the Houston NC State game. NC State, they fought a heck of a battle to get to the Elite Eight in my position, but Houston's going to be able to beat them. And the game's going to be close, and I still will have Houston making it to the Final Four. Then we go to the other game, and I've changed my mind on this. Give me the Boiler. They have played so well in the games that we've seen out of them. And, I keep going back to the thing where the only other team in history to lose to a 16 seed who was Virginia, other than Purdue, the year right after they won the whole thing. And maybe that's Purdue coming back with a vengeance. It's a very similar team. The Naismith Player of the Year comes back. It would be a good storyline. So I have them in the Final Four. And then if we go down to this, I would say here that UConn will take down Arizona. I expect that to be a closer game than you would think, but I'm really high on UConn right now. And now I have Purdue outlasting Houston. And I'd like I said, a big deal. They can prove me wrong in these games, but I really liked Houston going into this tournament, and that game against Texas A&M has really scared me. And then we go, and I have UConn. UConn, they've just been really consistent, and it's not a team that I want to bet against like right now. I don't want to bet against UConn at this time, and that's going to be my Sweet 16 as of right now. But I like this. I like the Final Four that I've put together. It's one of those years where there's going to be a lot of ones, a few twos. It's just been that kind of year. So this is what I got. I'm really high on this one. And yeah, we'll see what happens.